Yeah, I think we're good. I'm done shaming Dale on his bad bumpers.
Okay, here we go.
You're welcome.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek I Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Geeking out across the globe. Hold on to your butts. It's the Geek I Show.
The Geek I Show.
Yes, indeed, friends. Welcome to your Geek I Show. Episode number, I forgot to open up the
155.
255. Drink. Your random review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I am CJ. At least they explained how that building went down. Boat.
I'm Dale. I wish I could pack my life up while pressing a button on my remote Campbell.
That makes two of us, Dale. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Rachel.
Drink. No nickname.
No nickname.
That makes two of us.
Doesn't work. You have to say it with your name.
Just the two of us. It's
Yeah.
the Dale and the Rachel.
We have a very special guest. Hey, everybody. You want to know something?
The show can start.
The show can start. Rhino's here. Woo!
Hooray!
And the disembodied voice you hear is Raul. I was being a slacker Garza.
Yeah, somebody did not RTFS and saw a movie.
We're getting-
No, I did read the Slack. It's just I wasn't able to make it out to the movies.
I'm moving house tomorrow. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Dale really jumped out of a tiny descending building to get here. So he's Ghost, by the way. Raul's Ghost. Rhino, what's your nickname?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking of one and then I...
Quarrelsome, where is Quarrelsome Doggo?
You could have just went with Quarrelsome Wasp. I mean, that would have worked.
Oh, that's true.
Of course, some
Oh
ant.
yeah, there we go. Yeah. Girls Man. Sure.
See, it would have been great if you would have been on the Black Panther show, movie rant and review that we did, because that literally had a Quarrelsome Rhino in it.
It did have a Quarrelsome Rhino in it. I was very pleased with the Quarrelsome Rhinos in that movie.
I was not. They were adorable, but man, the CG in that movie needed help. But speaking of needing help with CG, we're here to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Cherry Blue. I'm very confused with that one.
It's a working title, and it's called Cherry Blue. This movie is called Cherry Blue.
I don't think so, but they're there.
What kind of censorship do they have that they can't put ant and wasp in a name in Australia, Dale?
Is this the name of the damn title? Is it called Cherry Blue in Australia?
No, Cherry Blue was one of the working titles that Marvel put on this project.
Okay.
When they were trying, CJ, remember they do try to cover up a lot of what they do. So that
Yeah,
shouldn't
like
surprise you.
admitting that there's a Black Panther 2 and then having him snapped away. Oh.
Yeah.
So this came out the 6th of July this year, and of course it is as Scott Lang balances both being both a superhero and a father. Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym present an urgent new mission that finds the Ant-Man fighting alongside the Wasp to uncover secrets from their past. Of course, we have everybody repeating their first bits from the first movie. We have Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. We have Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne. We have Michael Pena as Luis. We have, of course, fucking what's his nuts as Dr. Pym. Slap his wife, Dr. Pym. And joining the cast this time, we have Walton Goggins as son of a bitch, Sonny Birch. Bobby Cannavale being that guy from Mr. Robot, being Paxton, and
Yep.
Judy Greer as Maggie. So
You're
this
not
film's
wrong.
title was not shown on screen until the ending credits because it had such a massive name, the hidden name of the movie.
Sorry, I meant to say something, but then I died. What I was going
It's
to
kinda
say.
like- This reminded me of the build-up for Guardians of the Galaxy. The name of the reveal of the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel being Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I don't have to be on screen right now. I'm just.
Dale's dying horribly.
No.
Wait, did
what I
they
was trying to
seriously
say-
held the title all the way to the end?
Yeah, you don't see the name of the movie until the very end.
No, you don't. Yeah, but you couldn't guess the title of the movie from everything going on at all.
Well, from the trailers, like the first time I saw the trailers, I thought it was like a Destiny trailer or something like that because of Ghost. I guess
No,
that's-
she's just real red, and she's throughout the movie. She's yelling out "Khaleesi" the entire time. You just don't hear it. It's in another language,
That's
English.
a Game of Thrones reference that I don't understand.
It is because the girl who plays Ghost is the Khaleesi's handmaiden in Game of Thrones, and she's brilliant in it.
I
She
just knew
is?
that was a Game of
Oh.
Thrones reference. That was a sound.
Rachel, no hard sucking your straw into the microphone. That's really obnoxious.
I did it purposely.
So yeah, continuing on with this because I want to give shout outs to everybody in this. Yeah, Judy Greer's Maggie in this, T.I. as Dave, yeah, Hannah John Kamen as Ava / Ghost. You have Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne in this.
Which that blew me away. Like I have to say, after not seeing her for such a great length of time in movies lately, because she's been out of the loop for a while. One, she still looks friggin' fantastic.
Yeah.
Gosh, it looks amazing.
Like she has not changed. Like this is a woman that I grew up watching with my grandmother in movies, one after the other. She was in love with her.
Fucking Catwoman. You gotta love Catwoman.
Well, that too. My grandmother made me watch that more times than I care to admit.
Ooh, was it
but-
Lawrence Fishburne in here too?
He was. He is Dr. Bill Foster. Otherwise known as Goliath for you comic book fans. Yeah, we have.
Casting on that one.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. Like that's the reason why I wanted to go past the 6 that we just put in there because like that does not give a fair shake to Ava and Bill Foster like and Janet. Like those 3 are brilliant in this.
Yep.
Most of the shrunken cars inside the Hot Wheels rally case are not Hot Wheel made. Specifically,
Spoilers!
yeah. Specifically, the purple Hyundai Veloster was actually a scaled car from Tamika Diecast.
Spoiler
This
alert!
is-
It's Chinese. It's a Chinese Matchbox car.
Yeah, basically.
Wait,
Bootleg
did
Chinese
did they
Matchbox
label
car.
them as Hot Wheels?
The case is Hot Wheels brand.
But the cars aren't.
And
Oh, okay.
for the record, they are Hot Wheels cars.
No, apparently not.
Some of them. If you look at the case, there are a couple. Our son has 2 of them, CJ. He called 2.
Well, it's amazing how accurate Chinese knockoff things can be nowadays.
I know.
Especially when you have Marvel money to throw at Chinese knockoff
Ooh,
companies.
talking about toys, real quick, since I didn't watch it, did Thomas come out?
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes. This is Michelle Pfeiffer's 3rd appearance in a movie sequel following Grease.
You're
2,
welcome.
one
Yeah,
of
Grease
the
2.
worst movies ever created.
we need to do that for
Yep.
an interview because I really want to watch that movie again because it's so bad.
It is literally one of the worst movies of all time.
It is awful, and I want to watch it again.
And Batman Returns. See, that's another one of those. Grease 2 is one of those movies that I can't even like as the bad movie lover that I am. Like Grease 2 is just wretched. The fourth film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to take place after the events of Captain America Civil War and after Spider-Man Homecoming, Black Panther, and Avengers Infinity War. Scott grumbles about wearing a hat and sunglasses. That wearing a hat and sunglasses does not conceal your identity. This has been a running joke among fans since several MCU characters have used this technique, including Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, Nick Fury, and Falcon. A little bit of also trivia. This is the only Marvel Cinematic movie since Avengers 2 that we have not read and reviewed its original one from.
Oh, yeah. We didn't read the original Ant-Man.
No, we did not. We missed it entirely.
Right.
Much to Jazz's chagrin. All right. We have quote times.
Pew, pew.
Hold on. You gave her wings?
And blasters.
So I take it you didn't have that tech available for me?
No, I did.
Nice.
Dale, be the black man.
Wait, what?
Dale, you got casted as the black man. Do it.
No.
I was the old man. I was the old man. You can be the black man. It's fine.
Is it though? I was partners with Hank on a project called Goliath.
How big did you get?
My record, 21 feet. You?
65 feet.
65?
Well, if you boys are done comparing size,
What's up?
That was.
I was literally the only one that could do it, right?
Yes. Yeah, because casting Dale as the black man wasn't offensive enough. We had to have you be Luis.
And of course, Rhino is the old man too.
It's fine. I'm an old woman. I knit all the time. I'm good.
Oh, don't.
That'll be a fun one for Ryan to read later because she's going to be the one who embarrassed herself.
Yes.
As sees son of a bitch on a ferry that sails away. How did he even ever have time to buy a ticket? Tries to shrink down, but his miniature size by pressing a button. Why won't you just one time, please work?
This actually shrinks down to his miniature size.
Yes! Oh, all right. I need help. Yes!
Calls in flying ant, though it gets eaten by a bird.
Oh, sorry.
Calls in another flying ant, but it again gets eaten by a bird.
Come on, man, not cool.
The same thing happens with multiple other flying ants.
Murderers!
One flying ant catches him and starts to fly him to the ferry.
Yes! I'm gonna call you Antonio Banderas!
Another bird eats Antonio.
No!
Lunges off and the flying ant starts falling.
Antonio!
And
Oh my god. Please tell me there were more ant puns like this. Or was that the only...
Yes, the ant names in this are fantastic.
Although, that actually, that brought back Manipool flashbacks, just saying.
Yes, like...
I don't know where we're up to yet, so I don't want to say why, but Manifold flashbacks.
No, there was a bunch. So like the whole creating thing and having them immediately die thing is absolutely Akira. So it's like just create something and gets destroyed. Oh, come on! Destroyed again.
Come on, Laurel. Come on, Yanni. I don't know what the names are at this point. Someone needs to go back and read.
That's good because neither do I.
Someone with more time than us needs to go back and document which names have been used and how.
Yeah, so I don't reuse them again.
Or you do reuse them and want to do the Geek I most popular name competition, Corner Hour.
.com. Oh man. So yeah. So all right. top of the show, we talk about the movie. We're not splitting it up with plot and stuff like that. We talk about the movie in the top half of the show. Production, plot, everything. So, I didn't know what to expect going into this movie. I loved the first Ant-Man. Everybody saw the first Ant-Man, right?
Yes.
Hey,
I have seen the whole first Ant-Man.
hey, guess what?
Dale,
didn't
why are
watch
you
it.
shit at life?
I didn't watch all of the first Ant-Man. No. I didn't watch the first one.
Why? It's so good.
Because I'm shit at life. I mean, you just
So I loved the first one, but it was just full blown heist. Like I loved it. It was like an old 80s heist film, and it was awesome. I didn't know exactly what to expect out of this one. I heard it was a rom-com originally, and I was a little weirded out by that.
Sure.
A weird action rom-com does sound real weird.
It did sound real damn weird. And I didn't like, but when I got into it, it's not a rom-com.
Right.
It's in every sense of the word, I'm running over cables. In every sense of the word, it's a family movie. Just with punchies. So actual family. And it was, spoiler alert, real damn good.
This movie, okay, I posted in the Discord, geek-io.net/Discord. We now have show discussion channels. Hop on,
we do.
favorite show, and ride the hype. I don't know where I was going with that. But so I posted in there that this movie was adorable, is probably the best way to describe this movie.
Yeah.
I think that if you liked Ant-Man 1, then Ant-Man 2 is a fun ride because they did more of the same stuff. I mean, obviously the plot is different, but they did more of the same sort of effects as was expected. I was not disappointed by this movie. I'm not going to say it's my favorite movie ever.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's far from that. But
I have friends who have deemed it their favorite Marvel movie up to now, and I can't give it that because
but I can't really hold it against them for that. That's not a unfair thing to say, and because of the amount of care and love that went into this movie, I could see why it would be some people's favorite one. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, as a working father who tries to do his best that he can for his children, I feel you, Scott. So I can't really say, obviously I can't feel you on being a superhero or anything like that. But as a father, that shot a bullet into my heart, seeing everything that he did strictly for his daughter, learned magic, learned all these talents that he never had strictly because he couldn't do anything else. So he did everything that he could within his power, which is, hey, I have internet. I'm going to learn things on the internet.
But isn't the term superhero kind of relative? I feel like that over the since these Marvel movies have gotten more popular, I think the term superhero has gotten more and more relative to who you are as a person. In the previous, totally unrelated, but in the previous this movie, they actually showed ads for foster carers and how you can become a superhero while adopting, adopt a foster child. And one of my best friends in high school was a foster child who was going through some, a really rough time going through that system, and thankfully got out of that from these two amazing human beings that saved her from that system. As spoiler alert, that system is not the best thing in human existence.
It can break people. Foster systems can break people, and it's not even necessarily the foster system's fault.
Oh no, definitely not.
It is a flawed system, but it's flawed because humans are flawed.
Oh no, it definitely is, and it's one of those things where it's just not a normal cycle to go through,
It
really.
isn't. I mean, we have a friend. I'm not going to say who they are, and I'm going to purposely use they them pronouns. They went through the system as well after their parents passed. Well, yeah, their parents passed.
No.
Oh, yeah, after they got taken away from their parents due to issues.
Medical issues perpetuated a situation that this person could not stay with family.
Yeah, and it damn near broke them. And sadly, he didn't. Fuck, they didn't get. They didn't really find that one person to be their superhero.
Right. And in a smaller level, like I found that in sort of my life growing up, my father and my mother, tried their damnedest to raise me with the situations that we had, and I look up to them as as life goes on. You have these issues happen, but we all have these figures that we look up to as kind of superheroes on kind of every aspect of life.
Yeah.
I think when the Marvel movies when they first started making Marvel movies, they were more interested in the powers that the heroes had, and now they're more interested in the character behind those powers, which to me kind of started with the first Captain America movie. Like, obviously, he has powers.
I disagree with you on where that started. I think it started with the second one with Winter Soldier. Because that's also when they stopped making just straight ass superhero movies.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because every one of the movies up till then was just punch the bad guy in the face until they can't be punched anymore.
Yeah.
And that movie was a old spy movie, which didn't really, I mean, it had a villain obviously, but it didn't really have it had an antagonist. It didn't really have a villain. Like the villain was Hydra as a concept.
Yeah.
And there was no there was no one particular overarching bad guy, and I think that's when they stopped really focusing on needing to have a singular point of conflict, and I like that.
Oh, it's great. It's really good, and both
but
sides.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Dale, on the fact that it's they've taken that term superhero and changed it a lot to be a very, very different thing now. And I love where they've taken that.
Relatable too. I think that's the huge thing. Seeing that these Marvel movies are huge worldwide phenomenons that they have to kind of scale themselves up.
Yeah, and even they take things that are, impossible to relate to, like Black Panther, and make that character somehow a relatable character. And he is not a superhero because he is, in the quote of Bilbo Baggins, a king of a third world country who wears a catsuit. He is a superhero because he is an actual leader, because he is taking things that are broken, taking things that are, they're not working, and fixing them.
And he's listening to the people around him to do that.
Exactly. He is a hero because he's a leader. Ant-Man is a hero because he's a father. He is a hero specifically, first and foremost, to his daughter. That is literally the only person he needs to be a hero for. And God damn, I cried. Like, this movie made me cry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This movie actively made me cry, and I was not expecting to come out of fucking Ant-Man crying. And I know it's a very specific thing as a father, and as a father who had some troubled times when in the past with our kids, like, who I did things, I learned skills and things like that off the internet because I wanted to impress them. I wanted to, give them, hey, my dad can do this. Because I mean, I had lost my job for the better part of a year, and it was not, the whole thing was they couldn't say my dad, does these cool things at his job. It was, hey, my dad took to learning Japanese on his own and also does cooking and does these podcast things. And like my kids weirdly have turned me into a hero of production for their friends. Cause like they just ramp up Geek IO to their friends, and it's really freaking weird.
but it's adorable.
It is.
'cause-
Like and when I go into their school and like one of their little friends is like, it's Mr. Geek IL. I'm like, God no.
Oh, I mean, that is a market. Whether we want to tap into that market or not.
No, it's technically not a market because they're not allowed to have a Twitch account before they're 13.
Yeah, I mean,
So no, Dale, it's not a market.
scientifically attacked on this episode. But like, I get what you mean. And where was I going? I had
Yeah,
World's best grandma.
Being a different kind of
Best
superhero.
grandma, yes.
Yeah, world's best grandma, exactly. But Daddy, it's the only one that they had. I know, and it's the best thing you have ever given me.
I love that so much.
Yes, and like that right there was
But
that.
as a parent, that is how you react to these
Yeah.
things.
It doesn't
Like,
matter
okay,
what it is. You
as a-
get given those things,
As
and
a kid myself, at some point, I know that I got something like our Christmas shops at school, and I can justify, I can completely attest to this as a teacher. Our Christmas shops at school are dollar store crap.
oh yes, they are.
They're like little, like adorable ornament handmade things. At least they were here. Like they're these little.
They're definitely
Or
not
we
here.
do stuff like that for our classroom. Like
Ah.
as a teacher, I do stuff like that with my students. But that little shop that they open up in that back classroom at the back half of the school that nobody talks about, oh, that's straight up Dollar Tree.
I thought, okay, let's
Oh no, you're breaking Dale's childhood, Rachel.
cultural differences on Geek IO. Pew pew pew. But
Yeah, now it might be different for you. Don't. You know, your mileage may vary.
right, no, I get that, and like, so at Christmas time, like right before we go on summer break, which is our big break here.
God, it's so fucking weird still. Christmas time before we go on summer break. Why are you Australians weird in your country that doesn't exist?
It does exist. You've been here. So
No, it doesn't. Hashtag flat earther for life.
Everybody on the stream has been to Australia, so
if it's fake, why'd you come here?
Who's showing their faces on the stream right now have been to Australia.
yes, that is true.
That is
Raul
true.
also
Who is
fake news.
Who is not muted?
Raul was fake news, so there's that.
People that have seen the new Ant-Man movie have gone.
Oh,
Anyway,
this is also true.
it's also true. All right, so
Shots fired.
at elementary school,
But
so
it's still fake.
we set up like little like craft stores where kids bring like little trinkets and stuff to sell for like $1 that they handmade, and then like parents go around and buy them. It's really weird. Okay, never mind. I shouldn't have brought this up.
Yeah, that's not a thing here.
So I think I've kind of I like I can see where you're coming from, like where it hit you super hard in the feels. CJ, like obviously being a parent, but like so I never had a relationship like that with my dad, like with either of my parents really. So like I guess that's probably why I didn't connect with this movie as much as I guess I could have, because I just have never had that experience.
I feel you, Rhino. I legitimately thought my grandmother was my actual mother until I was about 5.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that.
And I didn't have that relationship with my father either. And like I know my dad. I shouldn't say I never had that relationship. My
You
parents
lost that
divorced when I was
relationship.
7.
Yeah.
Yep.
But from the time I was 7 when my parents divorced until I was 18, actually no, until I was 22, I saw my father 5 times. 5 times. So that's the relationship that I wanted to have with my father. I wanted my dad there.
Yeah.
But that was just not the choice that I had. So for me, having, had my father in my life to any capacity, it's almost like a, here's a dad that could do it. And he had a whole lot more shit going on than my father ever did.
That is true. Yep.
Right.
And he's managing to be a real father and not, a flesh bag, shall I say. And I mean, now at 35 years old, I can say, hey, I kind of have a decent relationship with my dad. Like, when I haven't talked to my father since before we went to Australia, I'm getting a little bit worried about him because I haven't heard from him.
Right. Yeah, my dad and I don't talk. So it's like the last time I was around him, I was a child, so he still thinks I'm a child, and that's part of the problem. But anyway, that's way more in depth on my life than we need for a random review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anyway,
Right. But so, to make Rhino less uncomfortable,
The production in this movie,
the production in this actually was really well done. Obviously, like Ant-Man 1, this is a super CGE movie. Like, you're not getting a ton of the practical effects that you got with like Black Panther, or even what was there with like Spider-Man and things like that. Or not Spider-Man, fucking fucking Guardians.
Thank you.
They did, which did a surprising amount of being a surprising amount of actual effects for having 2 CG characters.
But Spider-Man Homecoming, though. Oof. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, good movie. You should watch it, Dale. Apparently, you didn't watch it before.
I watched it 3 times too many, and
I call bullshit.
I will probably watch it on the plane if it's there because I need to go to sleep.
I fell asleep to what now has become my favorite Marvel movie, Black Panther. So there's that.
Yeah, we slept through Black Panther God knows how many times on the flights.
But so this movie, man, we're all over the place. For a movie, it sounds like we all relatively enjoyed. We're all over the place with this.
I mean, I have a reason. I don't know why everyone else is all airy-fairy.
What?
My mind.
I'm gonna blame mine and CJ's all over the place on boiled brains.
Yes, my brain is literally boiled.
I also haven't talked to another human all day, so that's probably what my
That's aw.
Yay, Rhino thinks we're humans.
Well, at least you're not lizard people. That I know of.
Do you want to tell her,
that you
Dale?
know of.
Do you want to tell her, Dale?
Of course, Riley, we brought you here today.
This is a lizardvention.
It's not a lizardvention. Someone add that to the show notes. That's a good one.
It should be great because it has nothing to do with the fucking movie.
I mean, it's related. Lizards eat bugs, right?
So yeah, so it started off with Scott and Luis, establishing the fact that because there's cons and it's hard to make money as cons, that they made their own company, and that's really fucking awesome. And him dealing with the fact that he's on house arrest after the events of Civil War, and reacting to the rest of the universe. Like, it was really great seeing this interaction, seeing this feedback to the rest of the MCU. But also being its own story, like just completely taking off and building its own world. Because I mean, unlike in Ant-Man 1, there's nobody else. Like, there's no other Avengers or anything like that in this.
No, it's just the core, the AM crew.
Yeah.
Well, there aren't very many superheroes based in San Francisco, so it makes sense that there wouldn't be any others around.
And I love them for that. Yeah, get him out of New York. Like, yep. I do love how they kind of insinuate that he's going to get an Avenger and then doesn't.
Ever. I think I love that.
Yeah.
He's like, Cap. His friends call him Cap. He lets me call him Cap now.
We go way back.
Way back to 2 years ago. It's fine.
Back to 2 years ago.
I mean,
Nice.
It's so so what I was saying, for a CG movie, this was really well done. The CG was not super cheesy. Like, Ghost's effects were some of the coolest I have seen in a long time. Oh, all right, Dale.
I nearly threw up a few times.
Well, that sounds like a you problem. She's a very pretty woman. Just because she's a woman, Dale, doesn't mean you gotta throw up at her.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Hey, at least I didn't take the easy route, Dale.
I mean,
No, you and being Australian, her not being a.
Rachel will probably let you take her easy route if you really wanted to, but I mean, just pretty enough.
Was that just an insinuation of you saying my wife is easy to me?
No, that
Rachel.
The ghost was a pretty lady.
Yeah, she was a pretty lady, and you get to see her boobies on Game of Thrones. It's awesome.
I mean, that's a show that people watch. But anyway,
It's a very good show, even without the nakedity.
Nakedity.
You should watch it, Dale. It's good.
the first 3 seasons are really good. That's
Back to my
that's
point.
where I'm going to differ from you right there. Is the whole show is not great, but the first 3 seasons are awesome.
Anyway, so she was good. She was a good actress. Her effects, though, were a little jarring at first.
They didn't affect me that much. I expected them to because of what kind of character she is.
Right.
No, it affected me. I had trouble with watching some of her sections.
Yeah, it is definitely more of a motion blur, like a motion sickness kind of thing, because of how much she moves.
Yeah.
That I could see being a major effect to people. Unlike in what happened in The Incredibles for people like me who have eye disorders. But we're not going to get into that because it's not a random review of The Incredibles.
Wait, why didn't we do that again?
Because we would just be spending 2 hours raving how good it was.
And we're not doing that this episode?
No, as we can just tell of Dale going, which is that disagreement noise that he makes.
That is apparently a thing that people like. So it was a motion thing for me with Ghost's effect. It was
and I could see that, but I mean, but for me, like, again, being a subjective kind of thing, it didn't bother me. I thought it was real rad.
I mean, agree to disagree. I could see how you think it's rad. It just, for me, it was a little bit jarring.
That doesn't mean, just because it's jarring doesn't mean you don't think it's cool.
Sure.
Unless Dale's gonna make his weird disagreement noise again. Yeah, that one. That weird noise that I can't tell is actually a human being making that noise or not.
I'm actually a goat. We brought you here today to let you know that
You're a lizard goat?
I'm a Liz goat. LizGoat.com.
So, but this bringing up another point of her not actually being the bad guy. Like they build her up to be this bad guy, and she's not. And again, they make you feel so bad for her because like she did nothing wrong, and she's gotten this shit end of the stick literally her entire life.
She was just trying to get justice for herself. I framed it like that. She wasn't necessarily a bad guy, but she was just trying to find justice for herself.
I mean, I'd like to also point out, if she had just listened to her mother.
Yeah, she wanted to be with her dad, though. Like,
nope. Listen to your mother.
She physically said, "I didn't want."
Your mother told you to come.
But she literally said, "I didn't want him to die alone." Like, that is that is crushing. Like,
right.
Like, she knew what was happening even as a child, and she's like, "I just don't want my dad to die alone." Like, again, family movie.
Family movie, the feel-good family movie of.
No, I never said it was a feel-good movie. I just said it's a family movie.
It's a wholesome family movie.
Don't twist my words, Dale.
Don't taste your words.
Don't taste my words. They'll probably taste like coffee because coffee.
Coffee and fuzzy camera. There you go.
So, all right. Apparently, I'm getting a little bit too happy about this movie. Let's go to our negative correspondent, Dale.
Oh my god, I'm not negative about this movie.
Dale, why do you hate this movie, and why is it as bad as Spider-Man: Homecoming?
I like this movie. This movie was way better than Spider-Man: Homecoming, and you know it. Actually, no.
That weird Dale noise again.
I'm a Liz goat. This movie is adorable. It's wholesome fun. You know that a movie is adorable when beefcake gym junkies, if they were of different persuasion, would be on Australia's Next Top Prince Charming. Ha ha! Appreciate it. And they are like 20 times. So you know a movie is adorable when you've got these big bulky men going, oh.
Okay, but why do you hate it? I'm very confused.
I don't hate it. Why is this the Dale? We got Dale out. Oh wait, this is my existence in this network. Be picked on. I keep forgetting that. I don't hate this movie.
Sorry, Dale.
I'll probably give it the lowest score, but I don't hate it. I don't like Ghost's effects were trippy to me, and my personal tastes that apparently are wrong. But I don't hate this movie.
All right, so I have to go to the level. Dale, it would have been better if she was a white man.
Stay mad at you. I love the fact that I wheeled my chair back enough to hit the filing cabinet too. The Generic Live filing cabinet has to make an appearance on the last podcast hosted in Generic Live HQ. Are you still going to ask me why I hate this movie? And we're going to do this loop for 2 hours?
Yes.
I hate this movie. I like this movie. I'll probably give it a score. Is that just how science?
You know, Dale's flustered, and I've got his goat, which is him.
His Liz goat.
I've
got his Liz goat because now his voice is getting higher.
I mean, I technically haven't hit puberty yet. This is actually just glued on. I don't know if you know this, but this is actually.
Oh, I did because I touched it.
This is actually a reverse wig.
I licked it while you slept.
Wait, that's just a glue-on beard, a reverse wig. Wig for my face.
So, Rhino, effects wise, what do you think of the movie?
So I think the first Ant-Man did a lot of things with, like, obviously because of the powers of the superheroes, let's make everything really big or really small. And I think they did a really good job with that in this. Like, I really liked the Hello Kitty Pez dispenser. I thought that was hilarious.
Yes.
I wish they hadn't given it away in the trailer, but I loved that bit.
Yes.
There are a number of things that I wish that they hadn't given away in the trailer, but I do like.
Yeah, the trailer was really egregious about this movie.
Yeah, it really was. Like my favorite line in the whole thing is in the trailer. And it's frustrating. But I think that I think they did a really good job. I liked the one where I read Hank Pym's part when we did our quotes. No, I did. Just didn't give them to you. Anyway, so I just love how sassy Hank Pym is. Like, I'm the best, and everybody knows it, and why are you questioning me right now?
Yeah, I like how, I love how they're like, but making him face his past in this movie. Like,
yeah, like, you can see how much he actually hurts, like, but he's still, like, on the surface to everyone else, he's still the full of himself doctor who knows everything, except that and everybody close to him knows how much he regrets what was done.
Yeah.
So I like that part, and I like the effects. I like how they made them small and what they did with it. The car chase was pretty cool.
Oh, the car chases were amazing.
Yes.
I really, I was definitely expecting them to make Scott very, very large, but I like how they did it. Where like he's chasing after the fairy and he's just like makes himself massive.
Yes.
Belong to you, and then he just like touches him and he falls over.
Also, I really like that character. I just got done watching Sons of Anarchy, and that guy is on it.
Yeah.
The bad guy that tries to steal the lab a million times.
Right.
But
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
son
on
of a
it.
bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a birch.
But yeah, he's pretty cool. I thought the shrinking lab was a really neat thing. I wish they didn't put that in the trailer.
I'm glad though they didn't explain it in the trailer. Like they just showed this building shrinking and that gave a lot of just okay, what the fuck is going on here? Does that actually like how like I had more there were more conversations about that than a lot of the other things in the trailer before the movie came out.
Yep.
Lab case coming to big box retailers soon.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much. I mean, I think that they worked with the space really well. Having to think in the really tiny and the giant, I think they did a really good job. But I think they also did a really good job at that in the first one. So I was expecting them to do a good job in this one. So
yeah, if they pulled back what they built in the first one, it would have been a catastrophe.
Yeah, for sure.
Rachel, what'd you think?
You know how much I love the first one. Like the first one melted me in a lot of ways because I flipping loved it. Like I said, here was a guy trying to be a dad and trying to do the right thing, and coming from the background that didn't happen for me. It was upsetting. Seeing him going through even more and still having to focus on his daughter, just it's like you call it a family movie. I wouldn't say it's a family movie, but it definitely is a movie that forces you to look at a perspective as, in my case, the child of divorced parents. In your case, as a parent, as a father who wants to do the right thing, considering, history and everything else. And, all the things that could go wrong, he still fought through for his kid. So, was I expecting to go in and have a fucking feels movie? No. Was I expecting to be crying in the middle of this freaking movie? Hell no.
I cried within the first 10 minutes. I'm not strong enough to know that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're going down the slip slide. I was
like, oh my god, yes.
Like my dad was never under house arrest. Probably should have been at some point in his life.
Okay.
No, I say that sarcastically. My father was, and still to this day is, very on the straight and narrow, doesn't deviate, abides by the law and all that other jazz. He's never been one to break, even a freaking rule. Gets annoyed with me when I curse, put it that way.
Right.
Language.
But yeah, that's what Rachel language. Do you really need to? You've got better vocabulary than that. Yes, Dad. I know. Thank you. But just the fact that he's like, I have, a 9-year-old, and I've been house arrest for, 2 years almost. I have to keep her entertained. And you kind of go, aww. Damn it, I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Who's cutting this damn onions in this movie theater? Stop it.
Oh, right.
As I sat crying with friggin' other movies this evening. Not crying, sad crying, why am I watching this crying?
I'm never getting those 2 years with 2 hours of my life back.
Also CJ, but hey Macarena.
Hey.
It made me happy. I wasn't anticipating to get sucked in and, want to go back and see it again, but I do.
So I do want to quantify what I mean as a family movie. Literally everything about it's not a family movie in as the Peanuts movie is a family movie. It is a family movie in the fact that it is literally the entire point of this movie. Everything in this movie revolves around family, and there's this B plot of a dude with a really heavy Southern accent trying to steal a building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Like, everything.
it's not a family movie.
It's a family-focused movie.
It's a family. It's the adventure. It's the family where the real family that we made along the way.
Yeah.
But but no, that's what I mean by a family movie, and it's more so me playing with just the words because you guys know how I love wordplay.
Yes.
It's that's what I mean. Like having Hank Pym dealing with the sins of his past and how that affected other people's families. Him looking to rebuild his own family, not just Janet, but also Hope. And also accepting Scott as a part of his family, extended or not. Scott dealing with his family issues, obviously. Ava and her family. Like, everything in this movie is about family. And that is something that they have not really touched on. They've kind of poked at it with Civil War, with Iron Man's parents, a little bit in, obviously the first Ant-Man, and some in Black Panther. But the entire movie, like the conflict, quote unquote, was family. Like I said,
Yes.
and you had a B plot of a dude trying to steal a building.
A Southern dude.
Well,
Yeah.
and it kind of makes sense that they haven't tried to do that before, because there isn't a whole lot of family-centered plots that they have to work with in the Marvel Universe. Like, if you've read the comic books, there are not a whole lot of parents around.
Yeah. Like, it was a good choice. It was a good choice for Disney to buy Marvel because all of the parents are dead.
Yep. Pretty
It's
much.
fitting that Disney bought Marvel, right?
Yeah.
It was a
Like, they
natural
kill all
fit.
our parents. It's okay.
It's fine.
So yeah, it was, yeah, you're right. Like, and like I said, they did touch on it, like I said, a little bit in Civil War. Like, that was the B plot of Civil War, was the whole thing of, Iron Man's parents being killed by the Winter Soldier, blah 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 blah. But and obviously, dealing with the sins of your past and your family in Black Panther, obviously a major tenet of that movie.
Yep.
But yeah, like, this is the first time that it has been the central focus, and I love the fact that it is the central focus, because good god damn, man, he can fucking, like, I was so apprehensive when fucking white hot Paul Rudd Summer was cast as Ant-Man.
He's hot. Like, he's underappreciatedly hot. Underappreciatedly.
That's just because he looks like a trade person, Dale, and apparently you like tradespeople regardless of what they actually look like, which I appreciate.
Except if those tradespeople are dancing.
Or women.
Oh my god, women.
I said tradespeople.
Women deserve to be tradespeople too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just Dale doesn't
They're
appreciate
not
them.
the tradespeople you need, but they're the tradespeople you want.
No, other way around.
Yeah, it's not the tradespeople. Dale does not want women tradespeople. He appreciates them.
Or something, I don't know. The women tradespeople were the real friends that Dale made along the way.
Except he didn't. Dale's a weird anti-feminist. I'm just saying that right now.
We don't have to talk about that, do
we? I could go into conversations, but I won't. But no, so like, I appreciate, decentralized conflicts in these last few movies. Like, the fact that, it wasn't just a bad guy who needed to be beaten down. Like, I love that. And I love the fact that Marvel has evolved so much as a company that they're able to do that now. Like
Yep,
you don't need and that's the reason why I think that Iron Man 3 wasn't great, because they at that point they already evolved past punch the bad guy until he doesn't need to be punched anymore, and then they created another movie like that. And kind of the same thing with Thor 2. Like it was another movie where the bad guy just got punched until he didn't need to get punched anymore.
Yep.
And Guardians 2, the same thing. Like regular ass superhero movies, Marvel has proven the fact that they don't need to make those anymore. And that's why when they go back to them, I personally am kind of like, yeah, okay. That's one of the negative things that I have about Black Panther, is that eventually it did just come down to, and then they fight.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I can say negative about Black Panther. This movie was not, and then they fight. Getting Janet back from the quantum realm.
Well, and it shouldn't, and I'm glad that they didn't go the and then they fight route, because he's not combat trained and he's not a combat specialist. Like
Yeah.
Scott is a nerd. Like
yeah, Scott is Scott. Yeah, exactly. He is a nerd. Like he is us. Like
yeah.
He's a straight up freaking engineer. Like he's not a punchy
Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad they're not trying to make him out to be that.
Yeah.
That even when he was in Civil War, he was not there to be punchy man. He was there to deter he was there to deter, further violence by just being him.
Yeah.
So I can really appreciate the fact that they're not making him Captain America or making him Iron Man, because it'd be real easy to make him Iron Man. Ask Legends of Tomorrow, where they make the character that is basically Ant-Man Iron Man.
Yep.
I had another thing to say and I don't remember the fuck I was gonna say.
It was that. It was da 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 da.
It was
on the show.
Something vaguely insulting to Dale. There we go.
Yeah. Dale not liking this one particular thing that apparently everyone else does.
No, actually I've heard quite a bit of, Sturm and Drang about Ghost.
She was a good character. There's nothing against it.
That's the reason why I'm not saying Ava. I'm saying Ghost.
Right.
Because there is a big difference between when she puts on the mask and she becomes killer, awesome, cool effect assassin-y lady, and Ava, who just wants Pym to realize the pain he causes people.
Right.
Like, if anything, the main villain in this movie is Hank Pym. And not in the and then they fight kind of sense. In the
Right.
If somebody has to,
it.
yeah, exactly. Kind of like the literal villain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Tony Stark. Think about it.
It's true.
Like, he literally started everything.
Yep.
Like, the entire Stark family are literally the main villains of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, if you want to think of him that way, the main villain is Hank Pym, because he just kind of did his own thing, admittedly, but he never thought about the ramifications. And those ramifications cost a little girl her family and her entire life. These ramifications cost Hope her mother, cost Scott everything, because Hank decided that he was the smartest person and he didn't care who he got involved. Almost costed him again when Hope just shows up because Hank's like, hey, you need to do this. It just kind of stems back to Hank. And I can appreciate that it's not, they didn't turn. In fact, they gave Ghost a face turn. Like, they didn't turn her into a villain. They, in fact, turned her into a friend. And then the snapping happened.
The snapping. Snapple effect.
I mean, I think that's the reason why not a lot of us are talking about Son of a Birch, because he was a minor character at best in this.
Very
He was
to-
a minor annoyance to the main
Yeah.
cast.
minor.
Yeah.
Like most of us are focusing on Ant-Man, like as well we should.
Right.
In a movie titled Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Although, can we talk about the Wasp's suit? Because that's awesome.
Maybe.
I like the suits in this. Like the upgraded Ant-Man suit and the Wasp suit look real damn cool. Like,
Yeah, they really do.
and I love the fact that they are obviously not just CG'd on like when they're in their normal forms. Obviously, like
Yep.
it is they are wearing costumes, and I love it. Like that's the
Yeah.
major thing that always irritates me when I'm watching Iron Man. Is like that is not him.
Yeah.
Like, and it's almost jarring when freaking Robert Downey Jr.'s head pops out of the Iron Man suit, because it's just like it's a floating head on a computer device. Like,
Would be interesting to see all of the let's suit up montages from all the Iron Man appearances over the last several years. That would be a
That would
movie
be-
in itself. Right?
it would be, yes.
It would be a movie length of let's suit up.
Let's come up with new and clever ways to suit up.
Suit on up.
And all of it is just him being more like a bigger and bigger dick as he goes along. Like,
Pretty much.
he just eventually just kicks a puppy and then suits into the Iron Man suit.
And then the dog has to wear a suit now.
Yeah, then you have Iron Dog.
Iron Dog.
Oh.
Then he makes out with a cat and then becomes Iron Cat Dog, because that's how that show worked.
No, they were the children of a frog and a what was it? What was the cat dog? What was their parents? It was a frog and a
Hey Ral, what was the conceit of Cat Dog? Look it up, please.
because I remember because it was a frog and something else because they rhymed frog with cat dog.
Frog and hot dog. I don't know. Frog.
We're gonna make it frog and a mog.
Frog and a mog. Frog and
No.
smog.
It was a frog and a abominable snowman or snow woman.
Was it?
Yeah, it
Huh?
was a yeti.
Yeti
Really?
the
Yeah,
cat. Or
because the
dog?
frog would hide inside of the yeti's face, and it would have 4 eyes and this huge frog nose. Yeah, frog nose.
I'm so happy.
Raul,
Yeah.
weed is not legal in Texas.
We're talking about the Nickelodeon show Cat Dog, for the record.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cat dog.
Threw that
parent.
reference out there.
Yes.
And thought it.
it's like a giant hairy yeti.
It is. Holy fuck.
I
what they-
told you. And you see the
Jesus Christ.
God,
Cat
I
dog's
hate-
mother is a Sasquatch and cat dog's father is a frog.
Wait,
with a giant nose.
Cat Dog? Right.
I hated Cat Dog.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
It was the concept was gross.
Apparently a frog putting his lily pad inside of a
No,
Sasquatch.
Actually, in that episode when they go find their parents, they found them. They found Cat Dog, so they never really find their parents.
Oh my god, 90s Nickelodeon. Why was everybody on all of the heroin?
That's when we.
Because everybody was on all of the heroin.
Oh my god, yeah, you're not wrong. So do we want to talk anything more about Ant-Man before we take a break?
No, I'm good.
All right. Okay then, since Dale's the only one who answered me, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. For our podcast listeners, you're gonna hear some ads in the middle. Support our sponsors. That supports us as well. They're hopefully cool. I absolutely know who's on sponsors.
It's going to be, if you listen in Australia, it's going to be some weird government PSA, because that's what they're rolling out at the moment. So
Here it's Geico, I'm gonna say. Like it's really weird hearing Geico ads on my podcast.
ads on your podcast. So stay tuned
But
for
yeah,
that.
and then but also we're going to hear from our friend Professor Shy Guy, who apparently just is now watching the first season of Pokemon, and it's blowing his mind.
That's
But he did some music, if you don't know. And he did this album that if you don't know, that we did the listening party here. It's still one of my favorite things that we have ever physically done on this network. From History 1-1, here is Black Sheep featuring Ashley Birch. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Oh man, if you couldn't tell, that is one of my favorite songs by me, yelling loudly into the microphone that nobody can hear me on.
Right?
Oh man, like I'm glad that I have a mixer that I can turn myself down on, because I sure as hell just start blasting these songs. Like I fucking love this song in particular. Is like one of my favorite ones that he's ever done.
It's a good song.
It is. So this is the rant and review side of things, you guys. This is where we actually kind of get into the nitty gritty of our own personal things, give it a score from 0 to 10 with 0.5 increments that we call our Tito scale. And not to be outdone because she is our guest, Miss Monica, if you would please.
Oh, if I would please go first.
Yes.
Okay.
Rhino's
right.
first, because I don't want to.
That's the end of the sentence. Was if you would place.
No, that is an actual proper sentence there, Dale.
If you seek.
All right. I am. I went into this movie with very low expectations, because I did not love the first Ant-Man movie. But they exceeded my expectations, which going into it with very low did not take very much effort. I'm still not sure I can say that I loved it. I couldn't even tell you exact reasons why I didn't just love this movie. I think I'm just gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10. I mean, it's a Marvel movie, and they had fun with it, and they gave me more of what I was expecting from an Ant-Man movie. So,
God
7, 10,
77.
damn it.
The whole of this movie,
70
I love this
70
movie
million.
so much that it's 77.
70 million out of 10. That's how that works.
All right. Okay.
Dale.
How that works. Good morning.
Morning.
So, even though it's not even morning here anymore, so there's that. I keep coming back to this, but I thought this movie was adorable. I think I don't typically go. I went into this movie with low expectations, not having to see the full first Ant-Man movie. Hey, note to editor, edit that bit out. I won't. So, not having seen the first Ant-Man movie, I knew what the premises were, and I knew enough about it and enough associated material that I would pick it up very quickly. But not having that I didn't have any real expectations, so I kind of had middling expectations, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like not setting myself too high, not setting myself too low, and that could be probably my mood at the moment. Like going, hey, this is a fun 2 and a bit hours at 9 p.m. at night, and spoiler alert, I don't do many things at nighttime because I work at night also, and I'm like 65 and I go to bed real early.
It's okay because everything shuts down at 3 p.m. there. So,
well, 2:30 on Wednesdays. So, and like it was a good movie. It was an adorable sort of fun movie, tonally different from Marvel movies, where again it's not the let's punch this one dude until he's in the ground of New York City. It's a feel-good family movie based in San Francisco, which is kind of weird to kind of summarize for a Marvel movie of all things. Again, Ghost's effects were kind of shaky to me. Sorry. Not sorry. But again, that's more of a personal, whoa, where am I looking thing. That's why I don't go see 3D movies anymore, because I think I legit threw up in one. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to go put myself through that anymore. There's not really much else to say about this movie. I loved the programmed ant in the house doing all of Scott's
stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. I forgot about him.
Right? You spent 16 hours on the couch, 9 hours sleeping, 4
2
hours.
hours in the bathroom. What's up with that? Oh, like you don't know.
Like you don't know. And the fact that they used that to kind of play into the parts where the FBI were on Scott and like he had to get home, kind of intertwining that ant didn't have a character name, did it?
No, I don't think they ever. I don't think Scott ever ant named that one.
I don't think so
Great
either.
ant.
But you do see him at the end, so.
Oh, that ant.
It's happening.
So I kind of, as horrible as it is, I kind of wished that they had shown the daughter in the snap, like whether she was there or not, because I think that would have been way more heart-wrenching than the ant. But-
Yeah. Yeah. Like her freaking out that her mom just got dusted and.
Oh, that post credit scene. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I really want to see what they do with these characters in the next Marvel.
May! We have to wait till May.
Yeah.
Ah!
And then one person, but the one of the beefcakes said, "I don't feel so good" at the end of it, because of course they did. That's what you do. So I'm gonna give this movie an 8. It was a
Oh.
not gonna give QuallsomeRhino a 78.
I like how Rhino's score just gets higher and higher and higher now.
I'm gonna give Rhino my 8.
So Rhino hated this movie, and we're just gonna keep giving her higher and higher numbers.
Oh,
So now, Rhino, you have to tell us after we're all done why you hated this movie.
the feel good romp through time.
Yeah, this was a feel good family movie where everything was nice and everything was happy, and you hated it. Hated it.
I like villains, okay?
But you got Southern lawyer guy trying to steal a suitcase over and over again.
He's not a good villain.
No, he's a really shit.
I want a good, just deplorable human being to be a villain.
Wow.
So okay, I do like how. All right, so I want to rewind us back to our Infinity War one, where Josh is like, I want heroes, and then in this one, right, I was like, I want villains.
I just want that. That's the problem I think I have with most Marvel, is that all of the villains bore me, and I want like a good villain.
What about
So-
Killmonger? What'd you think of Killmonger?
I mean, he's all right, but his motivations are boring. So, I mean, I think I probably just like him because of what he looks like.
I mean,
So,
that's fair. He is a very hot human being that Dale hates. But
God, why does this turn into? I need to bring my catalog and show off my showcase. Whatever that's meant to mean. But I want a deplorable human being that does describe my relationship status quite well.
no.
all right, Rachel, what did you hate about this movie that apparently?
I had fun with it. It made me happy. It was mindless. It was fun. I wouldn't say, I don't know.
Sure, those are words in the
I'm
English.
more shocked at the fact that Dale gave it a higher score than Rhino.
It's because Rhino hates it, confirmed.
It's fine.
See, that's how you deal with it, Dale.
No. Well, yeah, me laughing at that's how I dealt with it.
Liz goat noises.
I love my Liz goat noises. Don't Liz goat shame me.
I am Liz goat shaming you.
Sure. Anyway, enough about my weird goat noises. Back to Rachel.
Rachel?
I'm going to go with Dale on this and say 8.
All right. Okay.
CJ.
So, did I have fun? Okay, so starting off, of course, I don't think any Marvel movie will ever get below a 5, because saying that you can't recommend a movie to somebody is, and the jazz scale, if you can recommend to somebody, being a 5. So there's that. I really, and of course, me not wanting to give movies 10s because I want to reserve that for an absolutely perfect movie. I laughed, I cried, I had a good time, I felt feelings in this movie that I never expected. I went into this movie with actually pretty high expectations because of my love for the first Ant-Man, which should not have been as good as it should have been, given all of the production hell that it went through. It had no right being as good as it wound up being. And this movie took everything that was good in the first movie and improved on it. So whereas the first movie I would have given a 7.5 or an 8, I'm going to give this one an 8.5. It was really, really good. It just, there wasn't enough there. I don't want a villain per se. I want a conflict, which is what Black Panther gave me. Black Panther gave me a quantitative conflict. This movie didn't have that. And that's the reason why it's not quite a 9. And that brings our average to 7.9 on the Tito's, which is
right to me.
One of our lowest. It's also because we don't have a lot of people weighing it in. We only have the 4 of us, and we normally have like 18 people reviewing these movies.
Hey, Rao, actually, we'll get Rao's rating. Hey, Rao, what did you think of us talking about this movie?
Tito, our review of this movie.
Us reviewing this movie.
You guys reviewing this movie, I give it a 9.72598.
Sweet, that's canonical. That'll be added into the average. Dale, make that happen.
Oh my god, no. You know what? Post-production is an amazing.
He's just going to take me out.
Oh no, I don't remember that number. Is what my problem is.
Dale is just gonna. All of a sudden, we're gonna listen to the show. You're just gonna hear, and half of Raul's statement's gonna go away.
All the bits of CJ insulting me. Hey, the show's gonna be 20 minutes long. Right.
Can you say what the? Because did they drop more of Captain Marvel in it?
No, there was no Captain Marvel, and the only Thanos thing that happened in this was the first end scene. Was the first end credit scene.
What was the final end credit scene?
An ant playing drums.
and Ant-Man and Wasp.
Talking about ant, does the giant ant from the first movie come back? The one that's a dog?
No, he died.
No. The
ant dog is still there.
Okay.
Cassie has the ant dog.
Ant dog, as opposed to cat dog. We've now got ant dog.
Yeah, Cassie has ant dog still.
Nice.
Yeah, we have an ant playing drums as the last final credit screen, and we have the answer of why Ant-Man wasn't in Infinity War in the first one.
Oh yeah.
That I actually feel is a little bit more like precious than reviewing this movie, which, like I said, they're spoiling this movie. Which, like I said, there's no real conflict to spoil in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a couple of cool car chases though.
Yeah, like everything is so cool in this movie, but like there's no like really major plot things to hugely spoil. Like I said, the mid-credit scene is like more important not to spoil than the rest of the movie.
Also, speaking of which, I loved the following 2 things, and then we can round up after this. One, Stan Lee, still doing cameos is kind of good. Man, the 60s were good, am I right?
Oh my god, yes! I don't normally like it when Stan Lee has like extended things in movies, and like because of his age, like his voice isn't as iconic as it used to be. So obviously, as the years go along, his voice just get kind of more old man and less Stan Lee.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the 60s were fun, but I'm paying for it now. That was so good.
He knows where he's at health-wise, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm still honestly surprised that he is alive, and I don't want him to pass. But I'm still honestly surprised that he is still alive.
I mean, Dragon Con last year, I tell you what, him on that parade, boy, that was real rough. But also, I love the fact that Marvel have started putting effort into the mid-credits scene with a lot of the cartoons and all the animation stuff. They're becoming really cool, and the ones in this movie were spectacularly done.
Yeah, they were.
It's kind of you've just watched this movie. Here are the best parts of this movie that you drawn and reimagined creatively. Previously on this movie that you just watched for 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, the effort put into it is real good, and just kind of proving that Marvel is definitely willing to spare no expense at these, and I love them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they know now after making so many movies how to make their fans happy.
Yeah,
And it gives incentive for people to stick around for that bit.
unlike DC apparently,
Oof.
which
know
they
nothing.
ruined Justice League of all things.
I don't even want to talk about Justice.
Movie.
That movie is so garbage. Like I went back and rewatched it. It is real fucking bad, you guys.
I actually,
so garbage.
my audience, the hostile audience I was in, did not help at all, and I think I said that on that episode.
Yeah, but it's not a good movie.
The only good thing was Jason Momoa shirtless, and that's it. Literally, that's it.
I enjoyed my first viewing of that movie because I was in the Alamo Draft House with Raul sitting right next to me. We were laughing and having fun with it, and like watching it the second time, and I realized like Dale's hatred of the movie was simply from his, being in that area with the toxic environment. My liking of that movie at all was in the environment that I was in. Like that movie is hot fucking garbage.
People were actively doing in the middle of the movie.
The CG in that movie was the worst.
We reviewed this movie.
You can't look at Superman's face at all.
So like cardboard. Like this old McDonald's
why did they
like more appealing than Superman's face.
Yeah, like I'm interested
to see the beard off. I don't.
I'm interested in seeing. Why did he's had a beard in the comic books? Why couldn't Superman just come back with a beard? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, they could have had him with a beard, and they could have explained it away because hair still grows when you die.
Yeah, exactly. And they could have bullshit Kryptonian, like, oh yeah, Kryptonian physiology says your hair grows faster when you die. Like bullshit alien because he's a bullshit alien. Like you didn't have to remove it.
Hey, you can listen to the show live Thursdays.
That being said, I really kind of want to watch Mission Impossible Fallout.
Why?
Because I actually kind of like the Mission Impossible movies.
They're good fun.
They are good fun. They are good dumb action movies, and apparently this is like real good dumb action movie. Like
we might have to rent review it. It comes out this weekend.
Maybe if we can get like a small. If we can get like
Oh yeah, we know where. Yeah.
Oh my god! No! Yes, we can rant and review Mission Impossible Fallout because Dale will be here on a Thursday that we could go and see it at fucking Studio Movie Grill and have Dale watch it with us.
Already have a guest.
I mean,
for that. That's why I ifed and.
I don't care. We can adjust.
That's why I'm like, maybe not. Hey, I'll be there for your.
What is it?
Hey, so you think it's a good time to tell them that I'm going to be? No, never mind.
Never mind.
When was it? August 2nd? I can talk to our guest and maybe trade around some shenaniganery.
Sure.
Yeah, that guest is a particularly flexible person.
I don't think I've ever had an interaction with that person apart from the email that you sent me.
Have you never been on the show when he's been on?
I don't believe so.
Huh.
I'm surprised he wasn't on last year because it was his first year.
If so, I was like still legitimately 12.
No, we're not talking about Kevin. We're not talking about Kevin. That actually is coming up.
That is coming up. But I think I might have been on the show. It might have been very early though.
It might have been. It has been a hot minute since he's been on the show. Boat tugging.
That I just realized we were unintentionally boat tugging. We were. It just happens naturally. We just tug our boats naturally. We row.
I might do some shenaniganery for my birthday because it's my birthday, and have August 2nd be Mission Impossible Fallout with Dale.
Thanks, Monica. That's all that joke deserved. Thanks.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Rowing down the Geek I stream. Speaking of which, we should.
Speaking of, you can listen to us live Thursdays 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Fridays at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/GeekIO Show. You can get a hold of us by emailing us at show@geek-io.net. Twitter, Facebook, all of them are /GeekIO Show. If you want to email a Dale game in, put show or Al Pacifico in the subject line, and then we'll go to Dale, and I won't look at it. No, just Al Pacifico.
Just put Al Pacifico. It's all somewhere in the message.
Yeah.
I love how one of our guests went like, "Wait, do you mean Al Pacino?"
There's not even an F there. Hey guys, guess what's coming with me?
Oh my god. Are you gonna be here on my birthday show, Dale?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna be in Orlando after that.
I'm gonna be in Orlando.
You are leaving on my birthday because you're an evil, mean person.
Wow.
No,
And
he's starting an amazing event on your
No,
birthday.
he
It's
hates
you.
me.
Because
That is
I
it.
really
Because-
love you that my present to you is me leaving.
This is the relationship that Dale and I have, by the way. If people can't tell, like Dale is literally my best friend. This is what we do to each other.
So much so that I am leaving him on his birthday.
Yes. Because he hates me. We have a Discord. You can talk with us when we are not on the air, like our new friends who love the Mana Pool. If you love the Mana Pool or any other show, go to geek-io.net/Discord to hang out with us when we're not on the air, or even when we are on, because some of us have Discord noises on, but it only seems to be on when I'm not on the show, and I can firmly blame it on Raul. Remember, we also have a Patreon that you can support the stream and everything that we do at patreon.com/geekio. That'll get you Discord exclusives that you can only get into if you are a patron, and also has a master feed when Dale remembers to update it, and more.
And I always update it.
Yeah,
Constantly.
totally.
There's lots of hot things happening over there. And by the way, speaking of games, I oftentimes when I'm writing games will hop into the WKB419, the Jizz channel, and hang out with people. So,
Which is a patron exclusive channel.
exactly. So get into
Hey,
that Jizz business.
hey, Rhino. Speaking of jizz business.
Hi, my name is Water Buffalo, and we hope you've enjoyed this Geek I production. Copyright 2018. See how that
Thank you for
works?
coming on for your first and last time on the show, Rhino.
And I'm out. No.
Oh, we love you. Great segue, says Death by Mage.
Hey, Rhino, where can people find you at on the internet?
Pretty much you search Quarrelsome Rhinoceros and I pop up.
Whoa.
Physically in your house.
In their house. It's like what is it? The
Just
Beetlejuice.
Like if you say Beetlejuice 3 times.
yeah, I'm Beetlejuice. It's
Oh
fine.
no!
That-
You're talking about the Bloody Mary, in
that
the
one,
mirror.
But I like Beetlejuice better, so I'm Beetlejuice.
Rhino juice.
I like me better, so it's me.
Anyway,
Beetle
anyway,
Rhino juice.
Beetle,
I do.
Beetle Rhino.
Quarrelsome Beetlejuice.
Rhino juice.
Oh, goodness
Quarrelsome Rhino
gracious.
juice? What?
Awesome Rhino juice.
That
Whoa.
just got dark.
Yeah.
Well-
Okay. Anyway, let's not make it cry on this podcast. So I produce a podcast about knitting and about all of the things that I am knitting and designing. I generally release it every 2 weeks on YouTube. You can search for Quarrelsome Rhinoceros Stitches. And I have just released episode 30, so I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now, which is kind of good.
Nice. Nice, very nice. I reckon we should do a special and call it Stitch and Bitch.
I like that.
Like-
I do rant quite a bit, so
I can do all of the bitching and you can do the stitching.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Bitching things.
So it is time for a thing that I don't have.
Us to ask Ral what's going on the show next week.
Oh yeah. Hey Raul, what's going on the show next week?
What is going on the show next week? Something new, fun, exciting, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
I don't. Dale, are you going to be able to do like a game next week? Because I have a game. I can make a game.
I mean,
Maybe
I have a
game.
game that I bought a while back that I was going to play on stream, but we haven't had the time to do it.
I have the
We're trying to jack it on stream, Raul.
Daddy Dating Simulator.
Are
coming
you
next
kink
Thursday.
shaming?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Now it's time for. Speaking of kink shaming,
But yeah, Dale, if you, I have a game that I have a full document for, and I will make it if you ever need to duck out on that. What are you doing to the notes, Dale?
I forgot to fully put my thing in there.
Well, put your thing in there while I press this button right here.
The Summer Movie Smackdown Update.
All right. Some movies are entering their second week. Some movies are exiting. Some movies are premiering this week.
My computer froze. We have a thing. We have a document.
I know Mamma Mia premiered this week, which Dale was super excited to see, and I think he actually went to go see that instead of Ant-Man.
Where
Which
they
is why I hated it so much.
Yes. Hotel Transylvania is entering its second week. Everybody should go see that movie, even though it's bad.
Ant-Man and the Wasp ending their run this week. Skyscraper and Hotel Transylvania 3. We're on a boat now, bitches. Is also entering into the second week, and so is We're Up in the Sky with the Rock is also entering its second week.
No, Die Hard, but with The Rock.
Die Rock.
And then premiering this week, we have Mamma Mia, Who's Come Is This, as Dale's nailed it down. The Equalizer 2, and Unfriended Dark Web, which is Raul's now wild card. Raul and I got mean mugged into making wild card choices this week, and neither one of us were happy with them.
Sure.
That's what happens when you wait till the end.
There's not a lot premiering that we didn't have in the SmackDown.
Right.
But we had a SmackDown shakeup!
SmackDown shakeup.
So, Raul, how did you like being on top?
What?
Carrie came up, grabbed you by the head, kicked you to the ground, and lopped off your head as you fall to second place. And Carrie takes her magnificent step up to first place.
Right. Called it. Nailed it.
From third place to first in 1 week, removing the head of the king. Long live the king. The king is Carrie with $22.2 million. Raul drops to $20.8 million to second place. Charles in third place with $19.2 million. I remain in fourth place with $14.8 million. And Dale is in fifth place with 9.3. And our solid bottom is Josh with 6.1 million.
So I just need. Oh man, but how much did I spend on it? Like
Wait,
$17.
hang on. Stop. Everyone stop. I just realized, CJ,
Yes.
because you and Josh are the same person, you're in last place still.
Yo!
Never letting that go.
So, funny thing is, we have people actively talking on our Discord now, geek-io.net/Discord. So, which is fine until one of them PMs me saying, feel better. And then I realized that he was, because Carrie brought up her fiance being sick, Josh being sick, poor kid.
Yeah, poor kid.
Discord, and realizing that he thought she was talking about me, segmenting again that Josh and I are the same fucking person. It took me a second to realize what he was talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? No, I'm feeling fine. Wait, did I ever say that I was feeling bad? Oh, God damn it.
I'm feeling fine.
Please redirect all inquiries to Felix. To
Felix?
Yeah, you
Felix.
have a new personal assistant, CJ. It's Felix.
Felix is
We
now your
haven't told
PA.
Felix, or we haven't told you yet.
I've been dumped as PA, and now Felix.
Well, yeah,
is
you're
PA.
getting a new job.
What's my new job?
Disney.
There you go.
All right. Who wants to be Josh?
I'll be Josh.
I guess it should be me. So this week up on the Geek IO network, there was no GLS this week. Dale was living up in Sydney, and he and I had a thing on Tuesday that we had to go to, which was totally and absolutely informative.
And 5 digits long.
Yep, and definitely 10,000 numbers.
10,000 squiggle warts.
Yep, 10,000 schmeckles.
10,000 snapples.
This week up on the Manipool, a horde of Carapest Cretans has our heroes bugging out as they continue fighting to avoid becoming a meal to the ravenous swarm. If they can survive, they'll just have to take another stab at the whole exploration thing.
Oh my god.
That's fairly fitting.
Oh my
Man in the Wasp.
god.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, that worked very well, and it was absolutely planned.
We and Wasp did it ourselves.
Yes. Also, I did my liquid handicap thing again this week. I was going to play Mega Man X speedrun, but I was real late. So I'm like, hey, I have this Sega Genesis collection for the PlayStation 4 that I haven't played. Let's play that. And I got actually quite drunk.
That might go wasted, I tell you what.
And really mad.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
They're hard games.
They are.
And I don't remember them being as bad as they were.
You still don't, because you might go wasted.
And on the Anime Otaku Show, we stabbed Darling through the heart. It died. Also, it ended. Darling in the Franxx is no more. Rip Darling in the Franxx. We discussed My Hero Academia, which Rhino watched in like 24 hours, which is impressive considering there's 3 seasons of it. I don't know how you did it, but hey.
You see how that works?
It's actually less time than a full American length television show. So it works out to about 17 hours of actual footage to watch.
Only 17 hours.
Most American television shows are at least 22 episodes long at like 45 minutes an episode, which is 18 hours. So there you go. Nugget of information for you.
We introduced a new show because with Darling dying, we had to introduce a new show. And of course, with Josh being there, it had to be a mecha show. It's called Planet With, and it's weird. Still not entirely sure what to think of it, but it's definitely a show that we talked about. And I think I enjoyed it. I'm still not sure.
The boat is still out on this one.
I think we better dock these jokes.
Indeed. So, speaking of, we have show titles. By going over to showbot.tv/geekio show, you have our show title candidates. And this is the part of the show that I make Dale embarrass himself on TV.
On TV. Wow. I'm on TV.
I mean, this show can be watched on TV, so thusly...
I'm on TV, mama. Look at me. All right.
Oh, my God.
All right. First up, we've got... Oh, hang on. Let me...
Yeah, turn off sort by votes.
There we go. Quarrelsome Ant and the Quarrelsome Wasp. It's pretty good. I was going to say something and then I died. No hard sucking into the microphone. Chinese Matchbooox knockoffs. Dale, you're a black man now. Geek IO, most popular name list.com. Scaled superheroes. Lizzavention. Way back 2 years ago. Lizgoat. A reverse wig. Dale the anti-feminist. Superman is bullshit alien. Actual footage to watch. And I think I liked it. I'm not sure.
I think we know what the title is. Ooh.
Superman is bullshit alien, apparently.
we got Quarrelsome Ant and the Quarrelsome Wasp on 5.
Which I think we should have. I have it at 4.
I have it at 5.
Now I have it at 5. All right, Quarrelsome Ant and Quarrelsome Wasp. That's the name of this episode.
Look at you go.
Though I would like Superman as bullshit alien. Just saying, that would be a great name for a show.
That would be a great title. Join us on the Geek I show, won't you? Superman is bullshit alien.
I do like how it's missing the A in there, so it's like broken English. Superman is bullshit alien.
Alien.
Or it could be missing a comma, so he's actually talking to an alien. Superman is bullshit alien.
Love you, Death by Mage. Thank you for submitting that title. On you because you can.
All right, we will see you next week where it'll either be Dale creating a game or me doing a game or maybe no game. We're not sure yet. But we'll see you next week regardless. Bye.
Hi, my name is Water Buffalo, and I hope you've enjoyed this Geek I Media Network production. Copyright 2018, you see how that works?
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.